Welcome to a deep dive curated just for you. Today we'll explore the life and work of Claude Debussy, but we're going to move beyond that Impressionist label. You know, the one that's often attached to him?
It's true that Impressionist doesn't quite capture it all, does it?
Not really. So we're going to delve into some personal stories using excerpts from biographical works. It's less about dates and more about the human behind the music.
The motivations, the context, it's
It
fascinating.
is. So let's jump right in. Chapter 1, A Rebellious Start. Now, Debussy's childhood, far from a world of privilege.
Definitely not.
His family, they ran a china shop. Not very successful, though.
Saint-Germain-en-Laye.
Right. And they've faced some real challenges, especially during the Franco-Prussian War.
Absolutely. Financial instability, societal upheaval, these early experiences, they undoubtedly shaped Debussy's worldview, his artistic sensibilities. Imagine young Claude, witnessing firsthand the fragility of life, the impact of conflict.
And adding to those hardships, his father was imprisoned for joining the Commune.
A turbulent time.
And this is where a twist of fate comes in.
While imprisoned, Debussy's father met Charles de Sivry, whose mother, Antoinette Mottet de Fleurville, was a remarkable piano teacher.
Ah, so through this prison connection, young Debussy is introduced to Madame Mottet de Fleurville,
And begins taking lessons.
which really set him on his musical path.
A pivotal moment. Without it, who knows? Then, at just 10 years old, he gets a place at the prestigious Conservatoire de Paris, spends 11 years there.
But even there, he wasn't exactly a model student, was he?
He had exceptional talent, that was clear. But he was also considered careless.
Tendency to disregard the rigid rules of composition.
Precisely. Chafing against those traditional methods. Hinting at the independent spirit we'll see later on. Exploring unconventional harmonies and sounds. Much to the dismay of some teachers.
Sounds familiar. Even his success with winning the prestigious Prix de Rome in 1884, with his cantata L'Enfant Prodigue, it wasn't a straightforward triumph.
A coveted honor, granting him residency at the Villa Medici in Rome. Debussy found the experience stifling. The environment, the food, the company, none of it inspired him. He even expressed dislike for Italian opera,
Which was considered the pinnacle at the time.
the pinnacle of musical achievement. Yet he found solace in the music of Renaissance composers, Palestrina Lassus, centuries old, but it resonated with him.
Suggesting a yearning for something beyond the prevailing style. And during this period, he wrote, "I am too enamored of my freedom, too fond of my own ideas."
A bold statement.
Very bold. So he's sensing the limitations of the well-trodden path, yearning to forge his own. This leads us to Chapter 2, The Road Less Traveled. And that yearning, it led him to a rather interesting summer job.
Ah, yes. Debussy secured a position as pianist at the Château de Chenonceau. This experience, it sparked a lifelong love for luxury, which played a role in his later financial struggles, despite his success.
It's fascinating how such experiences shape aspirations, maybe even create internal conflicts. And speaking of interesting experiences, his time as a pianist for Nadezhda von Meck.
Tchaikovsky's patroness.
Tell me more about that.
This was crucial for Debussy. Exposure to Russian music, unique melodies, harmonies. It broadened his horizons. He absorbed these influences, which later found expression in his own work.
So even while rebelling against the Conservatoire's rules, he was open to new sounds and ideas.
Absolutely. It speaks to his complex personality. Rebellious, yes,
Ugh.
but also curious, open-minded, seeking his unique voice.
And after his time with von Meck, he returned to Paris.
In 1887, a new chapter begins.
What happened?
He delved into Wagner's music, captivated by its power and drama.
But he realized that imitating Wagner wasn't his path.
Indeed, a beautiful sunset that was mistaken for a dawn, his words, recognizing Wagner's mastery, but needing to find his own direction.
And then comes one of the most significant influences, the Javanese Gamelan music at the 1889 Paris Exposition.
The exotic scales, shimmering textures, rhythmic complexities, it left a lasting impression.
A testament to his willingness to embrace ideas from beyond the European tradition.
It was unusual for his time, his curiosity, desire to break free from those Western confines, and his friendship with Erik Satie. Satie's experimental approach further fueled Debussy's desire to push boundaries.
So during this time of exploration and experimentation, he encounters a work that would have a profound impact.
Maurice Maeterlinck's play Pelléas and Mélisande premiered in 1893.
A defining moment. But what was it about this play that captivated him?
The symbolism, the haunting dreamlike quality, The exploration of complex emotions, it resonated with him. His desire to create music that evoked atmosphere, suggested emotions, rather than stating them directly.
It's like all these experiences were leading to this moment. The hardships of his childhood, the rebellious streak at the Conservatoire, the exposure to different musical
So
styles.
precisely, gathering all these elements, experiences, influences, waiting for the right catalyst, and that catalyst was Pelléas et Mélisande.
So he knew immediately he wanted to adapt this into an opera.
Absolutely. Secured Maeterlinck's permission, started working on it the following year.
A new chapter. The creation of Pelléas et Mélisande.
Filled with creative triumph and personal turmoil, intertwined, dramatically, a defining chapter, but also one filled with complicated relationships.
I understand there were quite a few.
Well-
Can you tell me more?
As he's composing this opera, Debussy gets entangled in a series of relationships. First, with the singer Thérèse Roget, then Lily Texier. They marry in 1899. But these weren't exactly calm and peaceful.
Sounds intense.
Passion, jealousy, even a suicide attempt by Lily.
It's almost like the emotions of the opera spilled over into his life.
The line between art and life, sometimes it's blurry.
Yeah.
And amidst all this, his music starts attracting a following. Young artists and musicians in Paris.
This was the group Les Apaches, right?
They called themselves that, yes.
What drew them to Debussy?
His innovative music, rejection of convention, embracing new sounds and ideas. They saw a kindred spirit, someone not afraid to break the mold.
And this group included composers like Maurice Ravel and Igor Stravinsky.
Major figures in 20th century music. Debussy's influence on them, undeniable.
He expanded their conception of what music could be.
A true pioneer. And then in 1902, Pelléas et Mélisande finally premieres at the Opéra Comique in Paris.
After years of development and drama, what was the reception like?
A mixture. Admiration and skepticism. Some embraced the unique style, the dreamlike atmosphere, the unconventional use of harmony, the vocal writing. Others, not so much.
Too radical departure from tradition.
You could say that, but gradually it gained recognition. A groundbreaking work, cementing Debussy's reputation.
As a leading figure in modern music. But his personal life, still tumultuous.
Shortly after the premiere, he becomes involved with Emma Bardek, a sophisticated woman passionate about music.
And this caused a scandal.
It did. Separation from Lily.
And around this time he creates La Mer, one of his most celebrated orchestral works.
La Mer is interesting. We consider it a masterpiece now. But initially, mixed reactions. Too unconventional, too abstract.
Not what they expected from sea-inspired music.
One critic even wrote, "I do not hear, I do not see, I do not smell the sea."
Audiences weren't always ready for him.
Ahead of his time. But amidst the turmoil and controversy, a source of joy, the birth of his daughter, Claude Emma.
Affectionately known as Chou Chou.
And she became a great source of inspiration.
I've heard that.
Debussy's love for his daughter, it shines through in his Children's Corner Suite. Charming piano pieces. The wonder and innocence of childhood.
It's nice to see this side of him. The tenderness.
A man of many facets, but while his compositions were gaining international recognition financially, he struggled.
Reliant on teaching and writing for income.
Unfortunately. And he also wrote music criticism under the pseudonym Monsieur Croce.
What was his writing like? Sharp?
Sharp wit, insightful observations, a keen intellect, deep understanding of music. He was critical of excessive sentimentality, blind adherence to tradition.
Not a surprise.
He championed artistic integrity, innovation above all else, and he famously clashed with Camille Saint-Saëns, who opposed Debussy's election to the Institut de France.
Never one to back down from a challenge.
His rebellious spirit, part of his identity, it fueled his creativity, allowed him to forge his own path, but that path takes a difficult turn. 1909. Debussy is diagnosed with colorectal cancer.
A challenging period.
Tracing his illness with courage, continuing to compose despite pain and debility.
His later works, written under such circumstances, give us a glimpse into his state of mind, don't they?
The late chamber music pieces, introspection, fragility, a testament to his dedication.
Remarkable. To keep composing while battling a terminal illness.
It speaks to his strength, his artistic commitment, and even as his health deteriorates, he keeps that sharp wit, that critical eye.
He did.
Even while ill. Debussy was an advocate for artistic freedom, championing new music, encouraging young composers to push boundaries.
Never lost his passion.
His dedication to music, unwavering, he remained active, attending concerts, debating the future of music, and we see the premiere of his ballet Jeux, 1912, commissioned by Sergei Diaghilev for the Ballet Russes.
Jeux is a remarkable achievement, right? Showcasing his evolving style.
It was evocative, innovative. But it premiered just 2 weeks before Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring,
which overshadowed it.
Stravinsky's revolutionary sound and choreography overshadowed Debussy's more subtle ballet.
His later works, Je, the final chamber music pieces, they reveal a composer exploring new landscapes, pushing boundaries.
Creativity never waned, even as his health declined. His final works, a poignant testament to the power of music to transcend even the most challenging circumstances.
And then in 1918, amidst the turmoil of World War I, Debussy succumbs to his illness at his home in Paris, only 55 years old.
A profound loss for the world of music.
His legacy, though, it continues to resonate.
Innovative, timeless.
His music, with its unique harmonies, evocative melodies, delicate textures, it still captivates worldwide.
He broke free from tradition, paved the way, generations of composers exploring new sonic possibilities, a true revolutionary.
A visionary.
And his impact goes beyond classical music.
Yes, film scores, popular music.
His music has permeated our culture in ways he couldn't have imagined. It has. So as we reflect on his life and work, what stands out to you? His most enduring contribution? It's difficult to choose just one. His impact, multifaceted, but his commitment to pushing boundaries, that stands out. He wasn't afraid to experiment, challenge those conventions, create something truly new.
He didn't just follow in footsteps. He forged a new path, created music that reflected his unique vision.
And inspired others to do the same. His legacy, a reminder that true artistry, it lies in defying expectations, creating something authentic and original.
He once said, "Music is the space between the notes." What a beautiful statement.
That reveals so much about his understanding of music as a fluid art form, ever evolving. He didn't just follow rules. He wanted to create music that breathed, shimmered, captured those fleeting moments of emotion, sensation.
He challenged us to listen differently, to open our ears, to new possibilities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Debussy, he was a master of subtlety, nuance, the interplay of light and shadow, suggestion over direct statement. His music, it's an invitation to immerse ourselves, let go of preconceived notions, and just experience the beauty of the moment.
A world that still beckons. Even a century after his death, his music, fresh, relevant, a testament to his genius.
The mark of a true innovator, someone whose work transcends time, inspires, provokes.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, a question lingers. How would music history be different if Debussy hadn't embraced that rebellious spirit, if he hadn't pushed those boundaries?
It's worth thinking about. Would we have had the same explosion of experimentation in the 20th century without Debussy's pioneering spirit? Would Stravinsky, Schoenberg, Bartók, would they have been as bold without Debussy leading the way?
It's impossible to know for sure. But one thing is certain. Debussy's influence is deeply woven into modern music. His legacy is a reminder to defy expectations, to forge your own path, create something unique.
Perhaps a final thought for our listeners. To appreciate Debussy, you must listen not only to the notes, but to the silences between them. It's in those spaces, the subtle shifts of harmony, color, that his genius truly shines.
And with that thought, we conclude our deep dive into the world of Claude Debussy, a composer who dreamed in sound and color.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep listening, and keep those deep dives going.